But to start off the stream, let's talk about another list that popped up. It's always either Rolling Stone or Complex that have been doing lists that have been shaking up the meta, making people talk. So this time we have a list. Last time we talked about the 25 funniest people on the internet. Now we are talking about, hey, shout out to the Definitive Taste. Appreciate you for the sub. Welcome. Thank you so much. So like I said before, this one is talking about the 25 most influential creators of 2024. I want you all to keep that in mind because I almost missed that part. I'm sure a lot of people will not read that part as well. 2024, that is this year. It's funny because we're halfway through the year, a little bit past halfway through the year, and it's interesting that they're already ranking the 25 most influential creators of 2024. We're not even done with the year yet, but in any case, they made a list. I also want to preface this with me personally. I don't know a lot of people on the list. I did skim the list. I don't know a lot of people on the list because, one, I'm not on TikTok nearly as much as I used to be. I've kind of like weaned that off. I get on every now and then, just watch a video, but I do not doom scroll at all. So I know some of these people from TikTok, but a lot of these people are from TikTok and in Instagram. I go on Instagram even less. So if the person is like mainly an Instagram or a TikTok person, that's mainly the reason why I don't know them personally, but I do know some people from TikTok that have been on this list. But Instagram, that's pretty much dead for me. I don't know, like literally, like it's hard for me to recognize a lot of people who are like primarily Instagram people. So I just want to preface that. He said it's too low, so this is too bad. So let's go ahead and run through this. So 25, Winnie Gravar, and no clue who that is, so we're gonna skip. A lot of people are just gonna skip. If y'all know them, that's cool. 24, and the main Nadolo, I'm not familiar with them either. Their main platform is TikTok. Like the first two, their main platform is TikTok. I'm not familiar with them. Mandy Lee, not familiar with them. Reese Feldman, not familiar with them. So I'm just like, all right, cool. That's what's up. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm just saying I don't personally know them, so I don't have an opinion on them. 25, Aaliyah's Interlude, not familiar with them. Again, another TikTok. Monet McMichael, again, not familiar. 19, now we get to somebody we know. RDC World. So they are 19 on this list. Their main platform is YouTube, even though they are pretty much on everything, Twitch, TikTok, clips going crazy on TikTok as well. So on the funniest list, I think they were like top 5, if I'm not mistaken. I think on the funniest list, they were like top 5. They were definitely top 10. I know that for a fact. But I think they were top 5 on that other list when we went over. So for them to be at 19, obviously you're not talking about the funniest here, to talk about the most influential. So they put on here, RDC World. A lot of them know for their, the NBA skits, they get them out quick as hell. So that's the main reason why, at least for Rolling Stone, people totally not in the culture, they wouldn't be too familiar or too tapped in into the other things that RDC World does. Because like the first thing, like, well, RDC World, it wasn't NBA skits for me, but I know that's how for a lot of people those were the most viral things for them. But for me, personally, it wasn't those skits. But it's cool. The RDC World has done a lot. I remember when they were like running into, I don't know if they still run into it, probably not as much anymore, but I know they were running into a lot of copyright issues in the beginning, because they were doing a lot of anime stuff, had a lot of anime music and stuff like that, so we getting copyright strikes at the wazoo when they were first starting off. So I'm hoping that they're passing now. I know they stream a lot more, so they can avoid that and make money other ways. So that's cool for them, man. Shout out to RDC World. 18, Tony Bravo, not familiar with her. 17, Omar Herschel, not familiar with them. Their main platform is Instagram. 16, Wisdom K, another TikTok person, not familiar with them. 15, Hassan Piker. It's very interesting. More of a political type of streamer. We talked about Hassan before when he gave a take on the 9 to 5 versus streaming. So if you're watching me right now or looking at this video, I'm sure you are at least familiar with the name Hassan Piker. But he has a lot of controversial take, but he leans more into the political type content. So it's interesting With 15, not bad, not bad. 14, Jake Shane, not familiar with him. 13, Drewski. Now on the funniest list, on the funniest internet person list, he was number one. And we put that up for debate. Do we think that he was the funniest internet person of all time? I would say he's one of the most successful ones, but the funniest, that was up for debate. I probably wouldn't have gave him number one. But for the most influential of 2024, he is number 13. 12, Plastic Tiara, not familiar with her. 11, Anthony Fantano. This one is interesting because as far as influence, I know that Anthony Fantano, aka Needle Drop, had been, for years. For years he's been under controversy because of his controversial takes when he reviews albums. Mainly, the black community, the hip hop community have been upset with him because he decided to review a lot of hip hop albums, and he typically gives a lot of those that people think are not so high scores, and he's been getting a lot of crap for that over the years. So it's not anything new. For him to be number 11 on the most influential list, do we still consider Anthony Fantano like influential at this point? I would say not as much as he was before, because like I said, I think there are a lot more reviewers, especially in the hip hop realm, that have, I wouldn't say surpassed him, but they have a lot of influence as well. A lot of podcasts have popped up and have had pretty substantial cases when it comes to talking about music and reviewing music. I'm not certain of too many people who still run to Anthony Fantano when it comes to music reviews. I used to for a moment, especially when I was in my Odd Future era. Like I ran to him to see how he felt about Cherry Bomb. I remember that was one of the ones I looked into Kanye's albums. I wanted to see what he said about that, but that quickly faded away. It's not that I don't like him, it's just that I kind of I'm on the same side as a lot of people who criticize him. Like, I don't feel like he gives a lot of hip hop albums a fair shot, and that's what I mainly is. You don't really care about the other stuff, but he's saying it's fantastic. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if he's really an influencer, or at least in 2024. I don't know. So and then obviously he still has an audience, but as far as influence, I'm not sure in the whole music reviewer space. But in any case, Rolling Stone thinks so. So he is at number 11. Number 10, Theo Vine. I am familiar with him. He does a lot of, I wouldn't say, he's kind of in that deadpan, category when it comes to interviewing people, but I feel like he has a slightly different take when it comes to his humor and his content. But he was also on the funniest people list, and he was trying to think. No, I think he was low on that one. I think he was lower on that one, or he may be on top 10. I don't exactly remember him. But that's cool. He's number 10. I don't follow a lot of his content, but I have seen clips rolling around, so that's how I'm more familiar with him. But he definitely gets those higher up types of interviews. So number 9, Keith Lee. I feel like Keith Lee should be higher here, but like I said, that also goes into my bias because I don't know a lot of these other people. But Keith Lee has definitely had a run. Definitely had him most recently, and I commented on it on Twitter. He went to the DMV, and I'm sorry to the people at the DMV, man. But also, a lot more y'all are self-aware. For what I saw, a lot more y'all are self-aware of how y'all food really is in the DMV. But he said, he went to 12 places. Went to 12 places when he was in the DMV area. He said DC specifically. It wasn't really the DMV, but DC specifically, that he had a bit of a time, man. Like he had more luck when he was in Maryland. Looked like he had more luck when he was in Maryland. I heard Maryland, specifically Baltimore, has some really good food, and I pretty much would not go to Baltimore any other time unless it was to get some food. I heard they're good, and I love seafood, so I definitely want to go one of these days just to get some food. But I remember when I went to DC, it wasn't anything memorable food wise when I went there. It wasn't anything memorable. And I know T-Bay says this all the time. He's like, if you don't like African food, Ethiopian, Vietnamese food, like stuff like that, then you probably wouldn't really mess with a lot of DC food, because that's mainly what they're known for. And I didn't know that. I was like, that's very interesting. I didn't think that those particular cultures were very prevalent in DC. But it was like that's where like the real good DC food is. And Keith Lee did go to Ethiopian place, but you know he's had some. He said he had some problems, man. He had some problems in DC. What up, Vegas? But no, Keith Lee is definitely up there. He's definitely very influential. People definitely do run to him for his food reviews. He is probably one of, if not, you know, one of the most famous food critics, you know, out there, especially, you know, for being, you know, quote unquote an amateur, you know, not having the quote unquote credentials to be a food critic. But he definitely up there. A lot of people run to him. 8, Alex Earl. Ever heard of her? 7, Pokimane. Then you in the top 10. We got one of the streamers in the top 10. So Pokimane is another interesting one. I mean, yeah, she's definitely influential. Like women love her, like they love her, and then the horny boys love her too. You know, it's been going on for a long time, and I haven't really been keeping up with her as much since she moved to YouTube. I know she wanted to do, you know, more like IRL content, but you know, Pokemon also gets a lot of, you know, controversy for her takes. So you know, a lot of people be hating on her. Miss Twitch herself, right, and not so much anymore. But yeah, she's number 7 here. Rolling Stone think that she's number 7. But yeah, the latest news I heard about her was they mentioned here that charity fundraiser, like $500,000, man, over $500,000 for a game session with Pokemon. That's so crazy. I mean, I like it for charity, but I was like, dang. I don't mind, boys, to play a game with Pokemon. That's great. 6, Alan Chicken Chow. Not familiar with him, but dang, 53.6 million on YouTube, main platform on YouTube. So I don't know. It said cameo on the Mean Girl musical, high school comedy YouTube show. Yeah, or his guest turn on Grey's Anatomy. Say I'm not familiar with him. Number 5, Duke Dennis. And when I saw this one, I was like, damn, shout out to AMP. But Duke Dennis in the top 5. And Duke Dennis in the top 5. I must not be fully familiar with this game, man. I was like, dang, Duke, for being number 5 most influential this year. That's crazy. And they put here in his in his little bio here. They said that he has his biggest following on TikTok, where his charm with the ladies has made him an almost mythic figure for teenage boys. That's what I was like, what? Because he has the riz with the ladies, it made him a mythic figure for teenage boys. I was just like, huh? That's interesting, man. It's very interesting. Yeah, everybody knows who Duke is, but I ain't think he'll be top 5 most influential of this year. I think he'll be top 5 most influential. I was like, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. But I just found that when they explained about him. Boy, no way. Yeah, it's very popular. Very popular. So it was like, I was just interested. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve top 5, but I was like, huh. I'm like, it's up there, man. It's up there. 4, Nara Smith. Now, I was about to say I don't know her, but I do know her. I made sure, because I looked. I was like, who is this? I know who Nara Smith is. She is the girl who makes her food from scratch, and she got really popular because of her voice, the way that she says things, because it's very monotone, and people were thinking that she was a slave for her husband because of, you know, her constantly saying how I just made stuff from scratch for my husband, or I made something from scratch for my family or whatever. But a lot of people, you know, no matter how much they hate her, they love her content, and that's how she got very popular. Yeah, making something from scratch. What up, Hounded? What up? So I am familiar with Nara Smith. I have seen her content. I made sure. I was like, she looks familiar, but yeah, I was like, let me make sure. Number 3, Mr. Beast, the most subscribers on YouTube. He has a lot of subscribers with a lot of followers on Twitter or /X. So pretty much everybody in the world should know who Mr. Beast is by now. Huge philanthropist. Been getting under controversy because some of the people who he's hired, you know, unfortunately. But cannot hate on this man's philanthropist work. Man has done a lot. You know, whether his videos are real or fake, at this point, who cares, man? If you're doing philanthropist work and you're making, you know, a good mark on the world, who cares? I don't understand a lot of the hate that this man has been getting. Like, everybody knows him, and it's not like he's out here just doing some very weird stuff. Now, the people around him, that's a different story, but him himself, you know, I haven't found anything or saw anything very alarming with them. And apparently he's been getting into legal battles with some other people trying to defame his name, you know, and I get that. I get that. That's a brand that you do not want people to mess with. I totally understand. But 2024, I'll put him as far as influence, like content creators, I'll put him like all time. All time, he probably might be number one. All time, he probably might be number one. And under investigation. Yeah, number 2, Red and Link. Are y'all familiar with Red and Link? I'm not familiar with them at all. But they are number 2 on this list. I think I've heard of Good Mythical Morning, but I can't recall seeing any of their content. And if I have, it definitely wasn't passing. I'm not familiar with them. They say you love Red and Link. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them though. They're YouTube OGs. Okay. Maybe I've seen them before, but I just looking at this, I don't think I was totally familiar with them. So that's cool. But yeah, they're number 2 here. They're number 2. And then number 1, this shouldn't be surprising to anyone, but Cenat. Cenat is number 1 this year. This man has been on a run. He's still going. Man, been doing countless marathons. He's done Elden Ring twice. This in the DLC. Been doing a whole bunch of games this year. I've been doing one with Speed. Just recently got done doing the Minecraft hardcore mode with Speed. So a lot of people have been liking that stuff. And you know, he's been with Kevin Hart. He's been doing a lot this year alone. So, you know, this is, again, there's no surprise that Kai is number 1. So shout out to AMP, man. They got 2 people not only on this list, but in the top 5. Not only on this list, but in the top 5. Remember on the funniest list, they had Kai and they had Phantom. They had Kai and Phantom on the funniest list. And now in the most influential, they have Kai and Duke. So AMP is just winning. They're winning out the wise. What up, Flex? Did Speed make the list? No. Speed did not make the list. He did not. Are we surprised that he didn't make the list? I don't even know who's up. It didn't say it right here. What the heck going on here? I don't even know what happened. But shout out to whoever's up. That's whoever's up. I don't know what happened there. But not showing up. But yeah. But Kai is number 1 here. He's gonna know his audience. You know. Yeah. But that's cool though. That's cool. Shout out to Kai. Number 1 on the influencer. Yeah, but yeah, Speed didn't make it. Who would you replace for Speed? I guess the people I don't know. It's that AMP Hughes when they have a whole generation of kids saying Phantom Text. He said that was me. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Why was it so late? Because I said you did it like 17 minutes ago. So that was weird. I don't know why it popped up so late. That was weird. But anyway, shout out to you. I think I said it already. But shout out to you for the sub. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's it. That's it for that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What you think. Was this list fair? Would anybody have been changed for you? Anybody would have been added, taken out? Oh, you gotta do is allow homo comment. That's great. That's you know, it's very interesting to like this this generation. Like they just love like all like homo like I don't like all of those jokes. I don't know. I've never been typed to joke like that, but like it's just very interesting how this generation just loves those type of like edgy jokes. And Pokey number 7 kind of wild. Listen ass. That is listen ass.